believe it or not, there's a country just waiting to welcome you in without any visa, no red tape, and zero stress. 10. Haiti. Yes, Haiti, the Caribbean gem often overshadowed by headlines about natural disasters or political struggles, is a country that can truly surprise you. For Filipinos, visa-free access means you can stay for a full 90 days. Literally enough time to breathe in the culture, soak in the beaches, and explore waterfalls that look straight out of a travel magazine. Forget endless paperwork. It's buy a ticket, hop on a plane, and you're in. Let me tell you a story. Meet Marissa, a young nurse from Manila who had been dreaming of a Caribbean escape but thought it was impossible. With only her passport, 30,000 pesos, and a backpack, she booked a flight to Port-au-Prince. The moment she landed, she was greeted by warm smiles at immigration, no interrogation, no bank statements waved around, just a simple welcome. Her first week, eye-opening. She wandered through Labadie's quiet beaches, walked alongside locals selling handmade crafts, and stumbled upon a hidden waterfall in Jacmel where she swam under sunlight that pierced the canopy like golden lasers. Every corner felt alive. I thought I'd see the headline Haiti, she said later, but this was authentic, raw, and beautiful. And here's the kicker. Haiti is ridiculously affordable. Marissa lived comfortably on less than 1,000 pesos per day. Her mornings were fresh coffee and croissants from a local market, afternoons spent wandering historic streets splashed with pastel colors, and evenings listening to live compa music under lantern-lit skies. The locals welcomed her, especially in rural towns where community still means everything. Every smile, every conversation made her feel like she wasn't just visiting, she was part of something bigger. But don't mistake Haiti for just a budget paradise. This is a country that teaches resilience. The Haitian spirit is alive in its art, music, and festivals, and Filipinos often notice how similar the sense of community feels to home. There's an unspoken rhythm here, a heartbeat you feel in bustling markets, in the laughter of children playing soccer on sandy streets, and in the storytelling of elders at sunset. Haiti isn't about luxury resorts, though they exist. It's about experiencing a culture, unpolished and genuine. Imagine exploring Jacmel's buzzing art scene, where murals tell stories of revolution and survival. Picture yourself walking along quiet coastlines where almost no tourists tread, the waves whispering secrets only locals know. It's the kind of travel that changes you. For adventure seekers, Haiti also has mountain treks, lush forests, and cascading waterfalls waiting to be explored. And the food? Fresh seafood, tropical fruits, and street-side delicacies that cost a fraction of what you'd pay elsewhere. You can taste the island in every bite. Rich, vibrant, and alive. Here's a practical tip. Keep 20,000 to 50,000 pesos handy. Immigration might ask to see proof you can support yourself, though rarely. And remember, never overstay. Respect the rules and your adventure will stay hassle-free. Marissa, for instance, planned to stay a month, but ended up almost 3 before reluctantly heading home. She returned with a heart full of memories, a camera full of shots, and stories that friends couldn't believe. Haiti may not appear on every traveler's radar, but that's exactly why it's magical. For Filipinos looking for a visa-free, budget-friendly, and culturally rich destination, this is paradise hiding in plain sight. Think sun, sand, waterfalls, and a people that feel like family. The cherry on top? You'll never feel out of place. Filipinos often find an instant connection, as if the island has been quietly waiting for us. So if you've been hesitating to travel because it seems expensive or complicated, Haiti proves you don't need stacks of cash or months of paperwork. You just need your passport, your courage, and a readiness to explore. Trust me, the first step off the plane is the first step into a world you didn't know existed. If Haiti feels like a quiet, soulful escape, wait until you hear about Morocco, where 90 days of visa-free adventure collide with colorful souks, deserts, and street food straight out of the movie. The rhythm is louder, the sights more dramatic, and the experience is unforgettable. 9. Brazil gives Filipinos 90 days of visa-free access, and trust me, that's plenty of time to experience the carnival spirit, endless beaches, and vibrant city life. But let me introduce you to Leah, a travel blogger from Davao who had always dreamed of seeing Rio de Janeiro and the Amazon, but assumed it would be impossible due to visas and budget. With a backpack, her camera, and 50,000 pesos, she booked a flight without a second thought. The moment Leah landed, she realized Brazil was everything she imagined and more. From the pulsating samba beats in Rio to the quiet colonial streets of Salvador, the country pulses with life. But here's the secret, you don't have to blow your budget in big cities. Leah discovered Fortaleza in smaller towns where rent was cheap, local food was affordable, and adventure was abundant. Living comfortably on under 30,000 pesos per month was not just possible, It was easy. Brazil is massive and its landscapes are equally diverse. Imagine riding camels in the northeast, hiking through the lush Amazon rainforest, or standing in awe before Iguacu Falls, one of the most powerful waterfalls in the world. Coastal stretches run for thousands of miles, dotted with untouched beaches and hidden coves far from tourist crowds. And for city lovers, Rio's iconic Christ the Redeemer, Sao Paulo's artsy districts, and Salvador's historic Pelourinho offer endless exploration. Here's what made Brazil unforgettable for Leah: the people. Filipinos quickly find a sense of belonging here because Brazilians are warm, expressive, and endlessly welcoming. Streets buzz with laughter, music, and impromptu dance. Locals invite you to join festivals, share meals, and learn dances. Even in smaller towns, the sense of community reminds Filipinos of home, where life isn't just about work, but about celebration, connection, and joy. Food is another highlight. From street-side pau de queijo to fresh seafood and feijoada, every meal is a flavor explosion without burning a hole in your wallet. Leah spent less than 500 pesos per day exploring local delicacies, sipping freshly pressed juices, and tasting tropical fruits she couldn't even name before. And the markets? Bursting with colors, smells, and energy, an experience you can't replicate anywhere else. Adventure is limitless. Leah kayaked along Amazon tributaries, hiked volcanic trails, and explored colonial towns where time seemed to slow. And yes, even samba lessons were part of her everyday life. The sheer size of Brazil means you can live multiple lives in one country, from city adventurer to beach bum to jungle explorer. Budget travelers, take note. Plan carefully. Stick to smaller towns for accommodations, eat at local eateries, and use public transport. This is full immersion travel at its finest. Leah also emphasized safety. Brazil is generally safe if you stay alert, avoid risky areas, and respect local customs. The rewards? Immense. By the time her 90 days ended, she had new friends, stories, and a sense of freedom that money couldn't buy. Everywhere Leah went, she met OFWs, travelers, and locals who instantly embraced her. From shared meals to beach volleyball matches, there was a familiar warmth that made her feel like she belonged. Brazil is massive, colorful, and alive, but it's also welcoming to those willing to embrace its rhythm and pace. If Brazil is a non-stop carnival of color and adventure, wait until you hear about Vanuatu. This hidden South Pacific jewel is off-the-grid paradise, where Filipinos can stay visa-free for 120 days, snorkel in pristine reefs, swing in hammocks over turquoise waters, and experience island life so peaceful it feels like time stops. 8. Morocco. For Filipinos, Morocco offers 90 days of visa-free entry, giving you 3 full months to get lost in colorful souks, trek golden dunes, or sip mint tea in bustling Medinas. But don't just imagine it, let me tell you about Rico, a freelance graphic designer from Cebu who had never left the Philippines before. With just his laptop, 40,000 pesos, and a heart full of wanderlust, he booked a ticket to Casablanca. He thought Morocco would be intimidating: foreign language, unfamiliar customs, and endless tourist traps. What happened instead? Magic. From the moment Rico stepped off the plane, he was enveloped in Morocco's legendary hospitality. Street vendors greeted him with warm smiles, cafe owners offered mint tea with a side of conversation, and locals in Marrakech and Fez went out of their way to help him navigate narrow alleys lined with mosaic tiles. It felt like stepping into a movie, he later said. Every corner had a story, every street had a rhythm, and every meal was an adventure. And Morocco is surprisingly budget-friendly. Rico found he could live on 25,000, 30,000 pesos a month, eating like royalty on street food, taking public transport to historic sites, and staying in cozy riads tucked behind ancient walls. For comparison, a single tagine or a plate of couscous often cost less than 200 pesos, and he spent less than 50 pesos on freshly squeezed orange juice in local markets. Even the famous camel rides across the Sahara Desert were affordable when booked with trusted local guides. The beauty of Morocco is in the juxtaposition. Centuries-old Medinas, vibrant marketplaces, and desert expanses meet modern cafes, Wi-Fi hotspots, and boutique hotels. For digital nomads like Rico, this was a game changer. He worked mornings in quiet cafes, afternoons exploring palaces and souks, and evenings watching the sunset over sand dunes or bustling city squares. The internet was reliable, the coffee strong, and the inspiration endless. Culture here is alive and electric. Imagine watching snake charmers in Jamalethna Square while spices fill the air, lanterns glow at twilight, and the sound of traditional Nawa music reverberates through ancient streets. You can wander past centuries-old mosques, visit artisan workshops where leather and ceramics are made by hand, or stroll through blue-painted villages in Chef Chow, a place that looks like it popped off a painter's canvas. Morocco also has a rhythm that Filipinos connect with. Families gather for tea, neighbors chat across alleys, and communities celebrate festivals with passion and pride. Rico often compared it to small-town Philippines, where relationships and community are the heart of life. He made friends instantly, and locals often called him like family by the end of his first week. For practical travelers, always carry some Moroccan dirhams for markets, keep a valid passport with at least 6 months left, and respect local customs, especially around religious sites. Even as a tourist-friendly country, understanding etiquette ensures a smooth, hassle-free stay. Rico never felt unsafe, but he made a habit of blending in, dressing modestly, and asking locals before taking photos. Small gestures that earned him trust and insider access. And here's the kicker, Morocco's 3-month visa-free allowance is perfect for truly immersing yourself. You can take weekend trips to the Atlas Mountains, hike waterfalls, or explore the beaches of Agadir. And if you're like Rico, you'll quickly realize Morocco isn't just a destination. It's a cultural masterclass, a feast for the senses, and a story waiting to be written. The food deserves a chapter of its own. Imagine freshly baked bread from a local bakery, steaming tagines filled with tender meats and vegetables, and sweet pastries paired with spiced tea. Street snacks like Svenje donuts and grilled meats make wandering markets a culinary adventure. All this while your monthly budget stays comfortably under 30,000 pesos. Rico's story doesn't end at travel. By the second month, he was offered a collaboration with a local art collective and even met fellow Filipino travelers who shared tips on hidden gems and affordable stays. By the end of his 3-month adventure, Rico returned home not just with photos, but with life-changing experiences, friendships, and a taste of freedom he had never imagined. So if Morocco feels like a call to adventure, wait until you hear about Brazil, our next country. If Haiti was quiet and soulful and Morocco colorful and vibrant, Brazil is all samba, beaches, festivals, and life at full volume. Think endless coastlines, rainforests, and a rhythm that makes every moment feel like a celebration. 7. Vanuatu. Filipinos can stay visa-free for an astounding 120 days. That's 4 whole months of turquoise waters, swaying palms, and a lifestyle that feels untouched by time. But don't just imagine it, let me tell you about Carlos, a 28-year-old IT freelancer from Cebu. He was burned out from Manila's endless traffic and office stress. With his laptop, a backpack, and just 60,000 pesos for living expenses, he booked a flight to Vanuatu on a whim. What he found was more than a destination, it was a reset button. From the moment Carlos arrived, he was greeted by smiling islanders who made him feel like family instantly. There were no queues, no visa forms, no bank statements, just a welcome as warm as the tropical sun. His first week was pure bliss, snorkeling over vibrant coral reefs, swimming through underwater caves, and discovering hidden lagoons where he had entire beaches to himself. Vanuatu isn't about luxury hotels, it's about living like a local, embracing simplicity and feeling the rhythm of island life. Carlos stayed in small bungalows run by local families, ate fresh seafood and tropical fruits daily, and spent mornings exploring villages before afternoons stretched lazily on the beach. His monthly budget? A mere 25,000 pesos, proving that paradise doesn't have to cost a fortune. The magic of Vanuatu lies in its untouched beauty. Picture this, a hammock swaying gently under a coconut palm, waves lapping at the shore, birds calling overhead, and not a tourist in sight. Every day was an adventure, but in a peaceful, unhurried way. Carlos kayaked past volcanic islands, hiked through jungles dripping with waterfalls, and attended small village festivals where locals shared their culture openly. What struck Carlos the most was the connection with the people. Filipinos often feel a kinship here, friendly smiles, open invitations to join village meals, and shared laughter over games or music. He quickly became part of a small expat circle, mostly Filipinos and other travelers, where stories, recipes, and tips were exchanged over fresh coconut juice at sunset. Your adventure in Vanuatu is endless yet never overwhelming. Carlos dove with manta rays, explored underwater caves, and even joined a traditional kava ceremony, learning local rituals while feeling completely safe and welcome. For digital nomads, mobile internet is spotty in some areas, but that's part of the charm. You're encouraged to disconnect, breathe, and live fully in the moment. Budget travelers, listen up. Living like a local is the key. Shop at markets, eat home-cooked meals, and stay in family-run bungalows. Even with a modest budget, you can enjoy all the thrills of island life. For Filipinos looking to stretch their 120-day visa, Vanuatu is a goldmine of experiences, photos, and unforgettable memories. And let's talk about culture. Villages celebrate traditions with music, dance, and feasts, and Filipinos often report feeling instantly at home as if they've landed somewhere familiar yet magical. There's a respect for community here that's rare in modern travel destinations, a rhythm that feels slow, intentional, and deeply restorative. By the time Carlos's visa-free stay ended, he had found clarity, new friendships, and a sense of peace that months of city life could never give him. He returned to Manila recharged, with a renewed sense of purpose and a treasure trove of stories that inspired his friends to pack their bags and explore. Vanuatu is about quiet paradise and slow living. Our next country, Georgia, kicks things up a notch with visa-free entry for an entire year, blending European charm, breathtaking landscapes, and a culture so welcoming that Filipinos often feel like family instantly. Snow-capped mountains, buzzing towns, and endless opportunities, Georgia is adventure with comfort and affordability baked in. 6. Mongolia. Filipinos can stay visa-free, which is perfect for travelers craving wide-open spaces and untamed wilderness. Let me tell you about Marco, a 26-year-old from Cebu who had spent years in Manila working long hours in IT support. Burned out and craving freedom, he grabbed his backpack, 40,000 pesos, and a one-way ticket to Ulaanbaatar, not fully knowing what awaited him. What he found changed his life. From the moment Marco touched down, Mongolia felt like stepping into another world. The city offered basic comforts, but it was the endless plains, rolling hills, and vast steppes that stole his heart. Imagine riding horses across grasslands that seem to have no end, camping under skies so clear the Milky Way looks painted, and waking up to sunrises that feel like they were made just for you. For someone used to Manila's chaos, this was liberation in its purest form. Mongolia isn't about luxury, it's about living simply and authentically. Marco chose to stay in traditional yurts, sharing meals with nomadic families, learning their customs, and even helping herd animals. His monthly budget? 15,000, 20,000 pesos, including rent, food, and transport. A fraction of what he spent in the Philippines, but offering a richness of experience money can't buy. The people are reserved but incredibly kind and respectful, making Filipinos feel welcome immediately. Marco often met fellow travelers and locals who shared stories around the fire, taught him traditional music, or invited him to join horse riding expeditions across endless plains. This is connection through simplicity, a form of hospitality you rarely find in modern tourist hotspots. Adventure is limitless. Marco hiked through remote mountains, camped near glacial lakes, and witnessed wildlife that seemed straight out of a documentary. Nights under the eternal blue sky offered a perspective he had never felt before. Quiet, humbling, and deeply grounding. Every day was a reminder that travel isn't just about places, it's about experiences that shape your perspective and fuel your soul. Mongolia also offers a blend of city comfort and wilderness escape. Ulaanbaatar has cafes, shops, and small expat communities, while the surrounding steppes provide endless exploration. Marco balanced city trips for supplies with weeks living in remote yurts, embracing a rhythm of life dictated by nature, not schedule. Food is hearty and simple. Meals like booze dumplings, stews, and fresh dairy products are cheap and filling, letting travelers fuel up for long days of horseback riding, trekking, or camping. Even with a modest budget, Marco never felt restricted. Mongolia's simplicity and generosity made every experience accessible. For Filipinos, practical tips include preparing for cold nights, carrying proof of funds, roughly 20,000 to 50,000 pesos, and respecting nomadic customs. While internet is limited in rural areas, this is part of the charm. It's a chance to truly disconnect, recharge, and live fully in the moment. By the end of his 90-day visa-free stay, Marco felt transformed. He had experienced a life untouched by modern pressures, forged friendships with locals and fellow travelers, and discovered a freedom that Manila's skyscrapers could never provide. Mongolia reminded him that adventure doesn't need crowds, fancy hotels, or constant Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's the quiet, raw experiences that leave the biggest mark. If Mongolia is about untamed plains and timeless adventure, our next country, Micronesia, is all about tropical paradise, crystal clear waters, and visa-free living for Filipinos that makes island life feel infinite. Think hammocks, coral reefs, and sunsets that stop time. The ultimate reset for anyone who's ever dreamed of living in paradise. 5. Georgia? Filipinos get visa-free entry for 365 days. Yes, a full year. This isn't just a long holiday, it's enough time to live, work, or explore at your own pace. Let me tell you about Anna, a 31-year-old nurse from Quezon City who wanted a fresh start after years of hospital shifts that left her exhausted. With just her passport, 50,000 pesos, and a dream, she booked a ticket to Tbilisi. She didn't know what to expect. Ancient streets, wine cellars, or the blend of European charm and Caucasian landscapes. But she was about to be blown away. The moment Anna arrived, she felt instantly welcome. Locals greeted her with warmth, and small cafes became her second home. Tbilisi's cobblestone streets were lined with art galleries, quirky bookstores, and traditional Georgian bakeries, where she spent mornings sipping coffee and munching on khachapuri, cheese-filled bread that became her favorite comfort food. Even her budget, comfortable, at 20,000, 25,000 pesos a month, covering rent, meals, and daily adventures. Georgia is a country of contrasts, snow-capped mountains to the north, Black Sea beaches to the west, and vibrant cities sprinkled throughout. Anna spent weekends hiking the Caucasus Mountains, exploring Batumi's seaside promenade, and wandering ancient monasteries tucked in valleys. The diversity was staggering, and every region felt like a new world waiting to be discovered. What makes Georgia truly special for Filipinos is the hospitality. Anna often shared meals with locals, celebrated weddings, and even participated in traditional feasts called supras, where wine flows freely and conversations stretch for hours. She was amazed at how easy it was to make friends and feel at home. She described it as a family away from home. Culinary adventures were endless. From hearty kinkali dumplings to rich stews and local wines, Anna discovered flavors she had never imagined. Meals at local spots were affordable and filling, letting her immerse herself fully without worrying about her passion for nursing with freelance opportunities. Even better, the locals were curious and welcoming, often asking about the Philippines and creating connections that turned into long-lasting friendships. Adventure isn't limited to cities. Anna explored ancient cave cities, rode cable cars over dramatic cliffs, and wandered vineyards producing some of the world's oldest wines. Every day was a new story, from mountain treks to seaside sunsets, all without ever feeling rushed. Georgia's affordability meant she could live richly on a modest budget, experiencing luxury and experiences rather than prices. For Filipinos traveling or staying long-term, practical tips include keeping a passport with at least 6 months validity, carrying proof of funds, roughly 20,000 to 50,000 pesos, and respecting local customs, especially around religious sites. Safety is high, locals are friendly, and the infrastructure is surprisingly modern in key towns. By the end of her first 3 months, Anna had fallen in love with Georgia. The streets of Tbilisi felt like home, the mountains became her weekend escape, and she realized that a year here wasn't just about sightseeing. It was about living, learning, and growing. She even connected with fellow Filipinos, sharing tips on hidden spots, authentic experiences, and affordable adventures. If Georgia is year-long immersion in history, mountains, and culture, our next destination, Mongolia, is all about wide-open spaces, untamed plains, and an adventure that feels like stepping into another world entirely. Filipinos can stay visa-free, embrace nomadic life, and experience life under the eternal blue sky, where every night is painted with stars. 4. Indonesia. Filipinos can stay visa-free for 30 days, with possible extensions, making it perfect for short getaways or extended explorations. Let me tell you about Jasper, a 27-year-old graphic designer from Manila who was stuck in a creative rut. He wanted inspiration, beaches, volcanoes, and a taste of life beyond the city's chaos. With 40,000 pesos, a backpack, and his camera, he booked a flight to Jakarta, then hopped between islands, discovering a world he didn't know existed. Indonesia isn't just Bali, though Bali is magical. The archipelago has 17,000 islands, each with its own flavor, culture, and vibe. Jasper started in Bali, surfing at dawn, exploring rice terraces, and enjoying local food like nasi goreng and satay, sometimes for less than 100 pesos a meal. Then he moved to Java, where he trekked active volcanoes, visited ancient temples like Borobudur, and wandered local markets buzzing with life. Lombok offered more adventure, pristine beaches, hiking trails, and quieter spots for reflection. Living in Indonesia is affordable and flexible. Jasper rented cozy guest houses, stayed in family-run homestays, and lived like a local. His monthly budget, 10,000 to 15,000 pesos, which included meals, accommodation, and daily adventures. Filipinos often feel at home here. The large Filipino community in Jakarta and Bali made it easy to meet fellow travelers, exchange tips, and even join local events. Culture in Indonesia is vibrant and diverse. Jasper joined traditional dance performances, explored local markets, and even attended a Balinese festival where the streets came alive with colors, music, and rituals. Each island offered a new experience, and every interaction deepened his appreciation for Indonesia's rich history and hospitality. Adventure is everywhere. Jasper snorkeled over coral reefs teeming with marine life, climbed volcanoes at sunrise, and trekked jungles with hidden waterfalls. Every day felt like a new story waiting to be written, whether he was catching waves, photographing temples, or just relaxing on a secluded beach. Indonesia rewards curiosity and bravery. There's always something extraordinary just around the corner. Practical tips for Filipinos include carrying proof of funds, roughly 20,000, 50,000 pesos, keeping your passport valid for at least 6 months, and respecting local customs, especially when visiting temples or religious sites. Safety is high, costs are low, and the experience is rich with culture and adventure. Jasper returned home inspired and refreshed, carrying not just photos, but stories, memories, and a sense of freedom he hadn't felt in years. Indonesia taught him that travel doesn't require luxury. It requires openness, curiosity, and the courage to embrace the unknown. If Indonesia is about tropical islands and vibrant culture, our next destination, Singapore, is about modern urban adventure, efficiency, and opportunities. Filipinos can enter visa-free for 30 days, enjoy clean streets, efficient transport, tasty street food, and a community ready to welcome you. It's the perfect balance of convenience, city life, and a touch of home. 3. Micronesia. Filipinos can stay visa-free, hassle-free, and truly immerse themselves for extended periods. Let me tell you about Mayumi, a 29-year-old nurse from Davao who had been saving up for years just to feel free from the daily grind of city life. With her passport in hand, a modest 50,000 pesos, and an open mind, she booked a flight to Chuuk, one of Micronesia's breathtaking atolls. From the moment Mayumi stepped off the plane, the air felt different, fresh, salty, and calming, carrying the gentle rhythm of island life. Unlike other tropical destinations, Micronesia has managed to stay low-key and peaceful, giving travelers the chance to experience unfiltered island living. Her days were filled with snorkeling over coral reefs teeming with life, kayaking along crystal-clear lagoons, and wandering through small villages where locals greet you like old friends. Micronesia is all about slow living. Mayumi stayed in small, family-run guest houses, often sharing meals and stories with islanders. She learned to cook traditional dishes, discovered local fishing techniques, and even joined in a community celebration where music and dance carried late into the night. The experience was authentic and deeply personal, unlike any tourist trap. Her monthly budget, 20,000, 25,000 pesos, proving that paradise doesn't need to cost a fortune. Mayumi's subtle but profound. Mayumi swam with sea turtles, explored hidden lagoons, and discovered waterfalls tucked away in jungle interiors. Every corner of the islands offered a picture-perfect moment. Whether it was a sunrise painting the sky pink over a deserted beach or a quiet hammock under a coconut palm with the soft sound of waves lapping nearby. What made Micronesia truly unforgettable for Mayumi was the connection with people. Filipinos are often welcomed instantly thanks to shared Pacific heritage and a culture of hospitality. She met fellow OFWs, local families, and travelers who became friends for life. Conversations flowed over fresh seafood, coconut juice, and stories about home. The islands reminded her of the community spirit back in the Philippines, only with a backdrop of endless ocean and palm-fringed beaches. For digital nomads or those looking to stay productive, internet is limited in some areas, but Mayumi used this as an opportunity to disconnect and recharge, focusing on creative projects, journaling, and photography. The pace of life in Micronesia allows travelers to breathe, reflect, and truly savor each moment. Budget-friendly travel here is simple. Buy fresh food at local markets, stay in guest houses, and embrace local transport methods. Meals cost just a few dollars, and island life ensures that every day is an adventure without draining your wallet. Mayumi's 120-day stay felt like a lifetime of experiences, memories, and stories she could share with friends back home. Safety is high, locals are welcoming, and the environment is pristine. For Filipinos dreaming of an escape from city chaos, Micronesia is the ultimate reset button. a place to reconnect with nature, yourself, and a slower rhythm of life. By the end of her stay, Mayumi felt completely recharged. Her stress melted away by turquoise waters, island sunsets, and the warmth of a community that welcomed her like family. She returned home with stories, photos, and a sense of freedom money could never buy. If Micronesia is about tropical paradise and tranquil island life, the next country, Indonesia, is all about diverse landscapes, vibrant culture, and adventure just a short hop from home. Filipinos can enjoy visa-free entry, tropical vibes, and budget-friendly living from Bali's beaches to Java's temples. Singapore. Filipinos can enter visa-free for 30 days, making it ideal for short trips or a stepping stone for work, studies, or even business ventures. Let me tell you about Elaine, a 32-year-old from Cebu who had been dreaming of a cleaner, safer, and more structured urban environment after years navigating Manila's chaotic streets. With 50,000 pesos in her wallet and a heart full of curiosity, she booked a flight to Singapore. The moment Elaine landed, she was struck by how clean, organized, and welcoming the city felt. The streets were spotless, public transport ran like clockwork, and the skyline gleamed with futuristic architecture. Unlike other urban destinations, Singapore felt safe, convenient, and surprisingly accessible for Filipinos. She could explore without worrying about petty crime or constant traffic headaches. Accommodation can be pricey, but Elaine had a clever hack, staying across the border in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, then commuting daily via the MRT and buses. This allowed her to save money while enjoying Singapore's perks like hawker centers offering meals for just a few dollars, endless shopping options, and cultural hubs where history and modernity collided. Work and opportunity are huge draws. Elaine discovered a thriving Filipino community with friends and connections in hospitality, caregiving, and even tech support roles. Networking was easy, locals were friendly, and cultural events made her feel instantly at home. Singapore wasn't just a visit, it was a chance to expand horizons, explore career opportunities, and live efficiently. Adventure in Singapore isn't about wilderness, it's urban exploration at its best. Elaine wandered gardens by the bay, explored Marina Bay Sands, and marveled at street art in Hagie Lane. Even weekends were filled with learning, culinary classes, local festivals, and day trips to nearby islands like Sentosa. Every moment felt purposeful, educational, and fun. For Filipinos, practical tips include keeping a passport with at least 6 months validity, carrying proof of funds, roughly 20,000, 50,000 pesos, and being mindful of local laws. Singapore is strict about littering, smoking in public places, and drug use. Respecting rules ensures a hassle-free experience, letting you enjoy the city's perks without stress. Elaine also discovered Singapore's efficiency isn't just about infrastructure. It's about life quality. Clean streets, fast MRT trains, reliable healthcare, and safety at all hours made her feel secure and empowered. She could focus on exploring, learning, and connecting with people instead of worrying about logistics or security. By the end of her 30-day stay, Elaine felt inspired. She had tasted urban perfection, efficiency, and opportunity, all while staying within budget and connecting with fellow Filipinos. Singapore reminded her that travel doesn't always need to be remote or exotic. Sometimes it's about experiencing excellence, learning, and growth in a modern environment. If Singapore is about modern city life and efficiency, our #1 destination, Israel, combines history, opportunity, and adventure, offering Filipinos 90-day visa-free access, booming career options, Mediterranean beaches, and a culture that's as rich as it is welcoming. You won't just visit, you could live, explore, and even work in ways that change your life. 1. Israel. From the moment Raphael arrived, Israel's vibrancy and diversity captured him. Tel Aviv's bustling streets, innovative tech hubs, and Mediterranean beaches made it easy to feel energized and inspired. But Israel isn't just about modern life, it's also steeped in history. Raphael wandered through Jerusalem's ancient streets, explored sacred sites, and soaked in centuries of culture and storytelling. For Filipinos, Israel offers more than sightseeing. There's a booming demand for workers in caregiving, hospitality, and tech support. Raphael quickly found temporary work allowing him to sustain his adventure while gaining professional experience abroad. With a monthly budget of around 30,000 pesos in smaller towns or shared flats, he could live comfortably without breaking the bank. The country offers incredible variety. One day, Raphael would hike through the Negev desert, marveling at rugged landscapes. The next, he'd dive into the Mediterranean, swimming in crystal clear waters. Cities like Haifa offered cheaper living, but just as much excitement, while Tel Aviv showcased nightlife, culture, and modern innovation. There's truly something for every type of traveler. Food is a highlight. Fresh Mediterranean dishes, markets overflowing with spices, and local specialties like falafel and shawarma allowed Raphael to enjoy culinary adventures without overspending. Cafes and street markets became hubs for socializing, connecting with locals and fellow Filipinos alike. Safety and accessibility are strong points. Israel is welcoming to OFWs with communities ready to provide guidance, connections, and support. For Filipinos traveling solo or planning an extended stay, this creates confidence and comfort, making it easier to explore new cities, cultures, and career opportunities. Travel tips include keeping your passport valid for 6 months, carrying proof of funds, 20,000 to 50,000 pesos, respecting local customs, and avoiding illegal activities. Israel's strict enforcement means one mistake could cost you dearly. Travel insurance is highly recommended and surprisingly affordable, often under 500 pesos for short-term coverage. Raphael's 90-day stay felt transformative. He explored historical landmarks, joined tech workshops, and even made friends who invited him to festivals and community gatherings. Israel taught him that adventure and opportunity can exist hand in hand. That travel doesn't have to be just sightseeing, it can be life-changing. By the end of his stay, Raphael returned home enriched, inspired, and motivated. He had experienced a country where history meets maternity, opportunity meets culture, and adventure meets community. Israel reminded him, and all Filipino travelers, that your passport is more powerful than you think, capable of unlocking doors to unforgettable experiences and life-changing opportunities. And there you have it, the top 10 countries where Filipinos can travel visa-free, hassle-free, and live unforgettable experiences. From the raw beauty of Haiti to the innovation and culture of Israel, the world is waiting and your passport is your key. Remember, travel isn't just for the wealthy, it's for dreamers, explorers, and people just like you.